Robert Redford. Charles Robert Redford Jr., born August 18, 1936, is an American actor, director, and activist. He is the recipient of various accolades, including 2 Academy Awards, a British Academy Film Award, 2 Golden Globe Awards, the Cecil B. DeMille Award, and the Presidential Medal of Freedom. In 2014, Time magazine named him one of the 100 most influential people in the world. Appearing on stage in the late 1950s, Redford's television career began in 1960. He earned an Emmy nomination as Best Supporting Actor for his performance in The Voice of Charlie Pont 1962. His greatest Broadway success was as the stuffy newlywed husband of co-star Elizabeth Ashley's character in Neil Simon's Barefoot in the Park 1963. Redford made his film debut in War Hunt 1962. He started with Natalie Wood in Inside Daisy Clover 1965, which won him a Golden Globe for the Best New Star. He starred alongside Paul Newman in Butch Cassidy and the Sundance Kid 1969, which was a huge success and made him a major star. He had a critical and box office hit with Jeremiah Johnson 1972, and in 1973 he had the greatest hit of his career, the blockbuster crime caper The Sting, a reunion with Paul Newman, for which he was nominated for an Academy Award. That same year, he also starred opposite Barbra Streisand in The Way We Were. The popular and acclaimed All the President's Men 1976 was a landmark film for Redford. In the 1980s, Redford began his career as a director with Ordinary People 1980, which was one of the most critically and publicly acclaimed films of the decade, winning 4 Oscars including Best Picture and the Academy Award for Best Director for Redford. He continued acting and starred in Brubaker 1980, as well as playing the male lead in Out of Africa 1985, which was an enormous box office success and won 7 Oscars, including Best Picture. He released his 3rd film as a director, A River Runs Through It, in 1992. He went on to receive Best Director and Best Picture nominations in 1995 for Quiz Show. He received a 2nd Academy Award for Lifetime Achievement in 2002. In 2010, he was made a Chevalier of the Legion d'Honneur. Redford is also one of the founders of the Sundance Film Festival. Early life. Redford was born on August 18, 1936, in Santa Monica, California, to Martha Hart 1914-1955 and Charles Robert Redford 1914-1991, an accountant and milkman. He has a half-brother, William, from his father's first marriage. Redford is of English, Scottish, and Irish ancestry. His patrilineal great-great-grandfather, Englishman Elisha Redford, married Irish Catholic Mary Ann McCreary in Manchester Cathedral. They emigrated to New York City in 1849, immediately settling in Stonington, Connecticut. They had a son named Charles, the first in line to have been given the name. Redford's maternal lineage. The Harts were Irish from Galway, the Greens were Scots-Irish who settled in the 18th century. Redford's family moved to Van Nuys, Los Angeles, while his father worked in El Segundo. Robert attended Van Nuys High School, where he was classmates with baseball pitcher Don Drysdale. He has described himself as having been a bad student, finding inspiration outside the classroom, and being interested in art and sports. He hit tennis balls with Pancho Gonzalez at the Los Angeles Tennis Club to warm him up. After graduating from high school in 1954, he attended the University of Colorado Boulder in Boulder, Colorado for a year and a half, where he was a member of the Kappa Sigma fraternity. While there, he worked at a restaurant/bar called The Sink, where a painting of his likeness still figures prominently among the bar's murals. While at Colorado, Redford began drinking heavily and, as a result, lost his half scholarship and was kicked out of school. He went on to travel in Europe, living in France, Spain, and Italy. He later studied painting at the Pratt Institute in Brooklyn and took classes at the American Academy of Dramatic Arts class of 1959 in New York City. Career, theater. Redford's career, like that of many major stars who emerged in the 1950s, began in New York City, where an actor found work both on stage and in television. His Broadway debut was in a small role in Tall Story 1959, followed by parts in The Highest Tree 1959 and Sunday in New York 1961. His biggest Broadway success was as the stuffy newlywed husband of Elizabeth Ashley in the original 1963 cast of Neil Simon's Barefoot in the Park. Television. Starting in 1960, Redford appeared as a guest star on numerous television drama programs, including Naked City, Maverick, The Untouchables, The Americans Whispering Smith Perry Mason, Alfred Hitchcock Presents, Route 66, Dr. Kildare, Playhouse 98, The Twilight Zone playing the character Death, Virginia. In 1960, Redford was cast as Danny Tilford, a mentally disturbed young man trapped in the wreckage of his family garage in Breakdown, one of the last episodes of the syndicated adventure series Rescue 8, starring Jim Davis and Lang Jeffries. Redford earned an Emmy nomination as Best Supporting Actor for his performance in The Voice of Charlie Pont, ABC, 1962. One of his last television appearances until 2019 was on October 7, 1963, on Breaking Point, an ABC medical drama about psychiatry. In July 2019, it was announced that Redford would play President Robert Redford, a fictionalized alternate universe version of himself, in the HBO drama series Watchmen. In the show's timeline, Redford has been President of the United States since 1993 and is still President in 2019 beyond the two four-year terms allowed in real life. In the original Watchmen comic book that the show is a sequel to, Redford is mentioned as a contender for the 1988 election against Richard Nixon, who also continued his presidency beyond the two terms. It was later clarified that Redford himself would not appear in the show and that his name was simply being used as a tribute to the comic, although his likeness is used in the series' first episode, It's Summer and We're Running Out of Ice. Film author. In 1976, Robert Redford published The Outlaw Trail, A Journey Through Time. Redford states, "The Outlaw Trail, it was a name that fascinated me, a geographical anchor in Western folklore. Whether real or imagined, it was a name that for me held a kind of magic, a freedom, a mystery. I wanted to see it in much the same way as the outlaws did, by horse and by foot, and document the adventure with text and photographs." Filmography. Director. Redford had long harbored ambitions to work on both sides of the camera. As early as 1969, Redford had served as the executive producer for Downhill Racer. His first film as director was 1980's Best Picture winner Ordinary People, a drama about the slow disintegration of an upper-middle-class family, for which he won the Academy Award for Best Director. Redford was credited with obtaining a powerful dramatic performance from Mary Tyler Moore, as well as superb work from Donald Sutherland and Timothy Hutton, who also won the Oscar for Best Supporting Actor. Redford did not direct again until The Milagro Beanfield, or 1988, a well-crafted, though not commercially successful, screen version of John Nishols's acclaimed novel of the Southwest. The Milagro Beanfield War is the story of the people of Milagro, New Mexico, based on the real town of Truches in northern New Mexico, overcoming big developers who set about to ruin their community and force them out because of tax increases. Other directorial projects have included the period drama A River Runs Through It 1992, based on Norman Maclean's novella, and the Expose Quiz Show 1994, about the quiz show scandal of the late 1950s. In the latter film, Redford worked from a screenplay by Paul Atanasio with noted cinematographer Michael Ballhaus and a strong cast that featured Paul Scofield, John Turturro, Rob Morrow, and Ralph Fiennes. Redford handpicked Morrow for his part in the film, Morrow's only high-profile feature film role to date, because he liked his work on Northern Exposure. Redford also directed Matt Damon and Will Smith in The Legend of Bagger Vance 2000. In 2010, Redford released The Conspirator, a period drama revolving around the assassination of Abraham Lincoln. Despite a subject matter of personal interest to Redford, the film received mixed reviews and proved to be a flop at the box office. In 2012, he directed the political thriller The Company You Keep, starring himself, Shia LaBeouf, and Julie Christie. Awards. Redford attended the University of Colorado in the 1950s and received an honorary degree in 1988. In 1989, the National Audubon Society awarded Redford its highest honor, the Audubon Medal. In 1995, he was a 2002 Lifetime Achievement Award/honorary Oscar recipient at the 74th Academy Awards. In 1996, he was awarded the National Medal of Arts. In December 2005, he received the Kennedy Center Honors for his contributions to American culture. The honors recipients are recognized for their lifetime contributions to American culture through the performing arts, whether in dance, music, theater, opera, motion pictures, or television. In 2008, he was awarded the Dorothy and Lillian Gish Prize, one of the richest prizes in the arts, given annually to a man or woman who has made an outstanding contribution to the beauty of the world and to mankind's enjoyment and understanding of life. According to the school's website, the award was created to honor those who have distinguished themselves not only in the exemplary quality, skill, and innovation of their work, but also in their public commitment to social responsibility, to increasing awareness of global issues and events, and to inspiring and empowering young people. Redford received an honorary doctorate. He also spoke during the ceremonies. On October 14, 2010, he was appointed Chevalier of the Legion d'Honneur. He was a 2010 recipient of the New Mexico Governor's Award for Excellence in the Arts. On May 24, 2015, Redford delivered the commencement address and received an honorary degree from Colby College in Waterville, Maine. On November 22, 2016, President Barack Obama honored Redford with a Presidential Medal of Freedom. In 2017, Golden Lion for Lifetime Achievement at the 74th Venice Film Festival. On February 22, 2019, he received the honorary César at the 44th César Awards in Paris. Sundance Institute. With the financial proceeds of his acting success, starting with his salaries from Butch Cassidy and the Sundance Kid and Downhill Racer, Redford bought an entire ski area on the east side of Mount Timpanogos northeast of Provo, Utah, called Timp Haven, which was renamed Sundance. Redford's wife Lola was from Utah, and they had built a home in the area in 1963. Portions of the movie Jeremiah Johnson 1972, a film which is both one of Redford's favorites and one that has heavily influenced him, was shot near the ski area. Sundance Film Festival. The Sundance Film Festival caters to independent filmmakers in the United States and has received recognition from the industry as a place to open films. In 2008, Sundance exhibited 125 feature-length films from 34 countries, with more than 50,000 attendees. The name Sundance comes from his Sundance Kid character. Redford also owned a restaurant called Zoom, located on Main Street in the former mining town of Park City, until its closure in May 2017. Sundance Channel. Robert Redford founded the Sundance Institute, Sundance Cinemas, Sundance Catalog, and the Sundance Channel, all in and around Park City, Utah, 30 miles 48 km north of the Sundance ski area. Wildwood Enterprises, Inc. Robert Redford is the co-owner of Wildwood Enterprises, Inc., with Bill Holderman, producer, with the following film credits: Lions for Lambs Quiz Show, A River Runs Through It, Ordinary People, The Horse Whisperer, The Legend of Bagger Vance, Slums of Beverly Hills, The Motorcycle Diaries, and The Conspirator. Sundance Productions. Redford is the president and co-founder of Sundance Productions, with Laura McElchishan. Most recently, Sundance Productions produced Chicagoland CNN, Cathedrals of Culture Berlin Film Festival, the March PBS and Emmy nominee All the President's Men Revisited Discovery, Isabella Rossellini's Green Porno Live, and To Russia with Love on Epics. Independent films. Since founding the nonprofit Sundance Institute in Park City, Utah in 1981, Redford has been deeply involved with independent film. Through its various workshop programs and popular film festival, Sundance has provided much-needed support for independent filmmakers. In 1995, Redford signed a deal with Showtime to start a 24-hour cable television channel devoted to airing independent films. The Sundance Channel premiered on February 29, 1996. Personal life. On August 9, 1958, in Las Vegas, Nevada, Redford married Lola Van Wagenen, who dropped out of college to marry him. A Mormon ceremony took place on September 12 at Lola's grandmother's home. They had 4 children: Scott Anthony Redford, September 1, 1959, November 17, 1959; Shauna Jean Redford, born November 15, 1960; David James Redford, May 5, 1962, October 16, 2020; and Amy Hart Redford, born October 22, 1970. Lola and Redford divorced in 1985. Scott Redford died of sudden infant death syndrome at the age of 21/2 months and is buried at Provo City Cemetery in Provo, Utah. Shauna Redford is a painter and married to journalist Eric Schlosser. James Redford was a writer and producer, while Amy Redford is an actress, director, and producer. Redford has 7 grandchildren. In July 2009, Redford married his longtime partner, Sibylle Sagers, at the Louis C. Jacob Hotel in Hamburg, Germany. She had moved in with Redford in the 1990s and shared his home in Sundance, Utah. In May 2011, Alfred A. Knopf published Robert Redford, the biography by Michael Feeney Callan, written over 15 years, with Redford's input and drawn from his personal papers and diaries. Political activity. Redford supports environmentalism, Native American rights, LGBT rights, and the arts. He has also supported advocacy groups such as the Political Action Committee of the Directors Guild of America. Redford has supported Republicans, including Brent Cornell Morris, in his unsuccessful campaign for the Republican nomination for Utah's 3rd Congressional District in 1990. Redford also supported Gary Herbert, another Republican and a friend, in Herbert's successful 2004 campaign to be elected Utah's lieutenant governor. Herbert later became governor of Utah. As an avid environmentalist, Redford is a trustee of the Natural Resources Defense Council. He endorsed Democratic President Barack Obama for re-election in 2012. Redford is the first quote on the back cover of Donald Trump's book Crippled America 2015, saying of Trump's candidacy, "I'm glad he's in there, being the way he is, and saying what he says, and the ways he says it, I think shakes things up, and I think that is very needed." A representative later clarified that Redford's statement, taken from a longer conversation with Larry King, was not intended to endorse Trump for president. In 2019, Redford penned an op-ed in which he referred to Trump's administration as a monarchy in disguise and stated it's time for Trump to go. Redford later co-authored another op-ed in which he criticized Trump's handling of the coronavirus pandemic while also citing the collective public response to the pandemic as a model for how to respond to climate change. He has criticized the decision to withdraw from the Paris Agreement. In July 2020, Redford penned an op-ed in which he stated President Trump lacks a moral compass. In the same piece, he announced that he would be voting for Joe Biden in the 2020 presidential election. Redford is opposed to the TransCanada Corporation's Keystone Pipeline. In 2013, he was identified by its CEO, Russ Girling, for leading the anti-pipeline protest movement. In April 2014, Redford, a Pitzer College trustee, and Pitzer College President Laura Scandura Trombley announced that the college will divest fossil fuel stocks from its endowment. At the time, it was the higher education institution with the largest endowment in the U.S. to make this commitment. The press conference was held at the La Presse Club. In November 2012, Pitzer launched the Robert Redford Conservancy for Southern California, Sustainability at Pitzer College. The Redford Conservancy educates the next generation of students to create solutions for the most challenging and urgent sustainability problems.